Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the Virginia Tech Show. I'm your host, Kent Reese. We got pretty good news. I just announced my prediction for the quarterback for this season. That's the prediction. It's not the real thing. Anyway, before I get into that, I hope you guys all had a great 4th of July weekend. I certainly did. It was pretty fun. Over the weekend, I had 2 commitments, the 3rd and the 4th. Which was yesterday. On the 3rd, it was named Tremon Mitchell, who's a running back coming to Virginia Tech. And yesterday was Thomas Williams, who's also coming to Virginia Tech. I didn't do no videos on those 2 guys because I have 4th of July events coming up. So I apologize to the guys not having to do a video on those 2. I have those 2 guys linked in the description below if you want to check them out. Articles on them linked in the description below. And I'm not doing them today. Sorry. Anyway, let's get into this. This is about my quarterback position. Drum roll, please. And I am predicting that Grant Wells will be the starting quarterback for Virginia Tech. But Mr. Kent, why would Grant Wells transfer to Virginia will be the quarterback and from Marshall over Jason Brown? I will explain to you why Grant Wells will be the starting quarterback over Jason Brown. If you want to know, I did 2 videos on Jason Brown and Grant Wells. I was talking about them with some information. I'd tell you a little bit more information on Jason Brown than I did against Grant Wells, because I knew that Grant Wells would be the starting quarterback, as my prediction. Grant Wells played Marshall from 2019 to 2021. 2019, he redshirted. And 2022 was COVID year. He did play though. He was 165 completions attempts, 270 attempts, 61% with 2,091 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 9 touchdowns. In 2021, he was 295 completed and 66%, 3,502 yards, and 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. I will explain that in a few minutes. A lot, like I said in the last video, Marshall fans was not too happy about Grant Wells. That's because Grant Wells makes some plays that should have been made and his tip balls, plus he didn't have no receivers on the field. And we Virginia Tech fans, by the evidence has shown that I like Grant Wells better. Grant Wells got better arm strength than Jason Brown. He throw it down the football down the field. He can clear his target. There's highlights about him. And Jason Brown has thrown 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions for the football 3rd string. And he got big stacks, similar to Grant Wells, because he played at St. Francis. A little easy on that. Anyway, Grant Wells is going to be better than Jason Brown because he threw his football down the field, got better arm strength, and Grant Wells is going to be my prediction quarterback. Also, because the spring game, I saw the spring game, so some of y'all didn't have to. No, a lot of y'all was at the spring game because I was there, and a lot of y'all didn't watch the spring game because I did bet on the spring game, by the way. A lot of y'all was tailgating, a lot of y'all was watching a softball game and a baseball game. I watched a little bit of the baseball team, but I know I had to do Virginia Tech show, so I watched the spring game full time. Grant Wells is my dude. And because I watched spring game, watched this too quickly. But you was thinking, well, the spring game you got touched. Well, the spring game you got touched the guy, and Grant Wells is quickly throwing the football. He also could run the football, unlike Jason Brown was not that quickly. Yeah, you got the backups that better than Jason Brown because the backups in that spring game was, playing against the third string offense, so it's easy for them. And I guess being a quarterback in the spring game is more harder than a real thing. Well, it needs to be harder so you can do better, better. And Grant Reynolds that was very quickly launching the football and targeting Caleb Smith 2 times for the touchdown. I got the spring game and the highlights, and I'll have that in the link description below. And all he did at Marshall before the spring game, what he did at Marshall was very well as well. You know, all those throwing it down the football on the field and running the escape pocket. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Gerard Evans. Anyway, that's all I got to say on Grant Wells. Like I said, I have those 2 recruits in the link in the description below, the articles. You guys can check that out. And yeah, Jason Grant Wells is being my starting quarterback as my position. But Jason, as I'm making this video, both Wells and Brown and the rest of the football players are doing this football conditioning. Pressing and playing against each other a little bit. I'm doing 2-hand touch football so they can get ready for the August camp. Fall camp. The heck, if I'm wrong and Jason Brown proven to be better than Grant Wells, and he possibly can, we just found out sometimes you can struggle in the spring game and sometimes you can do better. Josh Jackson did that. Josh Jackson's true freshman did that. He was competing for the starting job with Brandon Motley and Gerard Evans. We all know Gerard Evans will come starting quarterback, but that's not the point. It's about Grant Wells and Jason Brown. Heck, a third-string quarterback, Charles Bullitt, might prove to be there competing for the job. The things have changed between the spring and the fall, but right now, I'm predicting Grant Wells read the evidence I see past 2 football games between South Carolina and Marshall when he was at Marshall, and Jason Brown was at St. Francis and also South Carolina. Anyway, that's all I got to say in the Virginia Tech Show. Right now, I'm predicting Grant Wells is the starting quarterback. And if I'm wrong, it's Jason Brown. I think he proved himself in the summer, and in what he did at fall camp. Or should I say fall practice, whatever you want to call it. But I think if you're in college, it was called fall practice. Fall camp. Anyway, thank you all for watching the Virginia Tech Show. Please like this video. Please leave a comment, click the subscribe button. Help me out. And again, let's go Hokies!